Hello there lads and ladies, it is Petrifying Pumpkins here and I am back yet again with another Firewall 0 Hour news update. We got new articles to look at as well as a release date tease to talk about, but first of all I have to get a couple of things out of the way. First thing is that in my previous Firewall video where I analysed the new screenshots, I made a mistake. I thought that the language on the car license plate was Greek in lowercase, but it's since been pointed out to me that it was likely a Middle Eastern language, and then that was later confirmed by the developers themselves, which we'll get back to soon. The second thing I have to say is a huge thank you because the channel has just hit 400 plus subscribers. I know that's still a fairly small number in the grand scheme of things, but it's doubled in size in the last 6 months and I just wanted to say thanks. Anyway, let's get to the Firewall news. This first article is a follow-up article from VentureBeat.com. They already talked about their preview in my previous video, but in this article they add their interview with Adam Orth, who is the creative over at First Contact Entertainment, the studio behind Firewall. So Orth says that the guys at First Contact have a strong lineage of first-person shooter games, including Halo, Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Medal of Honor, and that was a big reason why they decided to use that experience and make a first-person shooter like Firewall in VR. Next, he goes on to say that Firewall has got a lot of tricks going on behind the scenes that help to almost eliminate motion sickness. He concedes that you'll never get rid of it 100%, but it sounds like Firewall is in like the 99% range, judging by what previewers have said. Not that it matters to me because I am part of the next stage of human evolution, and when I hear about people getting motion sickness from VR games, it just reminds me of like a monkey flinging its own poo at a wall. There's no difference to me. Anyway, he next talks about how it's a feet planted experience. Of course, that's the way most PSVR games are, seeing as there is only the one camera tracking you. It's not room scale like PC VR. So we already kind of expect that. That's not really news. That's not to say you can't duck and dodge though. Next, they talk about the shooting of the game, or rather the shooting style. The interviewer mentions that some VR games are more forgiving when it comes to aiming and bullet damage and stuff like that, while others require precision and careful positioning where a single bullet can end the game for you. Orth replies with a "where do you think ours land?" confirming that Firewall will be on the more realistic side of things when it comes to shooting and bullet damage. So make sure you don't leave yourself exposed because you can get yourself dropped very quickly. Next, the interviewer says he had trouble shooting from the hip. Orth explains to him that shooting from the hip is definitely a very possible thing to do, but that it's an advanced technique. You really should be aiming down the sights if you want to be sure of your shots. Those red dot sights aren't just for show after all. Orth then says that you can also play the game on a DualShock 4 and that playing it that way is his preferred method, which is very interesting to hear because I always assumed that the aim controller would just be the best way. Now, even if both ways are perfectly balanced against each other, I always still thought that the aim would just feel better in your hand. It would feel more like holding a gun. But this comment from Orth has now got me interested in at least trying out what Firewall would be like with the DualShock 4 controllers, just to see what it's like. Next, Orth says that Firewall will have a lot of weapons, all of which will be upgradable. Unfortunately, we don't get like a solid number on how many firearms there'll be, but it sounds promising that we'll see a nice selection. I wonder if they're going to be actual real world weapons, or will they be like fictional versions of the real life weapons? You can let me know in the comments if you think you've spotted real world proper weapons. Anyway, Orth goes on to tell us a fairly cool anecdotal story of his. They had someone playing Firewall recently and that person got into a firefight, and the firefight in VR was just so intense that this guy's hands kept shaking so he couldn't accurately shoot. Now those are the kind of things that are very exciting to hear to me personally. Those are the moments that I think really show what VR is capable of and things that can only happen in VR really. After that we get confirmation that you can crouch either physically or by pressing a button. Pretty cool. Orth then talks about matchmaking and how they don't want a beginner player going up against a level 50 player, which kind of hints to me that the level cap for your character is probably going to be around 50. And that's something I don't think we knew already. Finally, Orth is asked when is the game shipping. He says he can't say, but that more info on the game is coming very, very soon, and that they are essentially at the end of development. So when he says very, very soon, that sounds a lot like E3 to me, which is coming up in like less than 2 weeks, I think, at this stage. So I think it's safe to say that we will know the release date at E3, and that we won't have too much longer to wait after that. I still think a July release date is possible, judging by everything we've learned so far. Okay, so the next article here is from the PlayStation blog, and it's an FAQ written by Damon Shabastari. I'm sorry if I butchered his name, and he's from First Contact Entertainment as well, where he takes the time to answer frequently asked questions that they've seen about Firewall on social media and forums and whatnot. Now, a lot of this is information I've already covered in past videos, so I'll just go to the one thing that I found here that's kind of new. So the question of how many maps will be in the game came up, and we already knew that it was going to be 9 maps across 3 locations, but now we know definitively what those locations are. So you got Russia, the Middle East, and the UK. I'm guessing it's going to be 3 maps in each location. That's a nice even split, 3 by 3, 9 maps total. So Russia and the Middle East aren't exactly new ground for a first-person shooter setting, but the UK is fairly interesting choice, I think, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with these settings. And that's kind of the only big piece of information from that FAQ, because we've already covered everything else in other videos, like I said. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and if you want this channel to continue growing, then molest that subscribe button and hit the like and share it with people you know who are looking forward to Firewall 2 and all that annoying stuff. It'll help keep you up to date with Firewall news and just PS Viewer stuff in general. Feel free to comment below if you want to have a chat. I reply to just about every question I get and will continue to do so. That's it from me, lads and ladies. I'll see you in the next video.